Hi everyone, how y'all doing? But yes, today what I'm going to be doing. Wait a sec, is this scene 1 or 2? Scene 2. Uh, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm actually going to be start building my new level. Because over the past weekend, what I've been doing is one, sketching the new level design, and also the one of the most painstaking bits of this project so far has been retexturing all of the assets. But due to one of the main issues with this project, whenever you bring anything into Godot, it loses its texture. And I have to go in, reapply the textures from scratch, which obviously, as you can see here, these asteroids and I believe some of the planets don't have their true textures on yet. So they will get their true textures on soon. They're just taking a little bit longer to get on. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing today is going to start building the first environment, because this environment's a bit more tricky. Because let's actually bring up a photo. Question, which phone did I take on? Is it this one? Oh, good, this one. Because this is what the level actually looks like. So let me just go explain it a little bit better. So here you've got the main area. This is where you start. This is where you actually crash into the side of the station. Then over here, literally, if you get, there's some stairs here, go up here. There are some dorms which you have to explore to get access to a keycard, which gives you access to the locker room, well, a storage room. Over here, you have a kitchen. So this is kind of like the living quarters of the station. And you got like some green grass here. So I'm going to be a little bit stuck on how I'm going to recreate this grass here, but I believe in the horror pack there is like a generic section, which I'm really hoping has something I could use. Damn it. Okay, so to start creating this, I need to get some walls in. So I've actually got access to a few different packs. So the different packs I'm using for this project, once I can actually extend it, is Sci-Fi City, Sci-Fi Horror, and Sci-Fi Space Station. So my best bet is probably Sci-Fi Station for the flooring first. So let's see if I can find the flooring. No, I feel like these are greebles. I think they're more greebles than anything else. So I'm definitely thinking of using these stairs. So let's see if I can I actually link these up? Uh, Okay. Oh, I'm super zoomed out there. Okay. Okay, let's shelf these. Because the floor is my primary issue at the moment. Okay, so let's have a look at these textures. I'm thinking for the concourse. That's bridge, right? Ooh. So can't use that one. That's way too... Actually, this one could be an interesting one. Looking at the design, I'm gonna zero these coordinates out. Can I find this material? Anyway, let's turn this music off because let's see. I'm thinking this one is closest to that. Now, my main challenge is going to be get this source leveled up. Okay, let's... delete those because I don't need those for the time being, nor do we need that and that, so that can get deleted. Now, is it Control D to duplicate? Yes, it is. Great. Again, oh, Haywayne does this, so... Ah, that's why. Now there's snap, so hopefully, if I do that... Let's have a look at the original design. There is a grassy curve. I'm going to see what happens when I scale it. Because potentially what could happen is if I scale these down a bit. I put that there. It's not the greatest match. Go undo that. Is this rail? I need to work out how to recreate that rail. Not the most ideal solution, but it works. This texture has to be somewhere in this pack. It's close, but not that. That's greebling. That's duplicate what I'll put in. Anyway, let's go to the next section. So I need to find grass, which is horror. Go to generic. And I just remember this is one of the files which I haven't had a chance to correct. So let's correct that now. Okay, materials. Create new asset, 3D material. Call that grass. Okay, I do not know where that texture just went. Give that the grass. No. Grass normal. That is not grass normal. FPX. Since that's probably going to use grass. Wrong route. Start this, grass. Apply that. I will probably neaten this up later, though. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to drop set it so there's a single step shown. One thing I'd really love this to have, do you like when you see a small mound? So when you see it, it's just got the grass nice clear, but then there's like a small mound which you can look like you could sit on and look out. Because there's going to be a wall there. There's going to be a wall there. Could work. It works to a point. Damn. One, that grass is way too big. And actually, what I am going to do... where's... So grab all that. So, large grass is the OG. Make it so your child. So now if I grab this... Make it so their children are items. Okay, ideally I don't want to be stuck here all day adding grass. So, I need to find some good stairs. Gonna delete that one. Yeah, I had a bad feeling you guys were gonna be floating. Now, do I go up one more? Do you know what? What this really feels like it's missing is a tree. I don't know why. It just feels like that grass area, even though it's a little bit more insignificant than it might seem, it feels like if I put grass, if I put like a tree there, so this area's just been invented, so I'm going to assume all the leaves just got sucked out into space. Put that around here. I'm going to duplicate to the other side as well. That can get deleted. I need to create another duplicate of these. But this time what I need to do is I need to rotate it. That is not what I expected it to do. Okay, parent that to that. Rotate that. Come on, phone. Please do what we need to do. Okay, so I need to mirror this green over. So I need to extend it a little bit further out. Move it in. Dupe that. Okay. Put that in there. I'm going to move this tree in a bit though. Move that there. Gonna move these two trees forward. Now I need to build a walkway. That's horror generic, that's why I'm in the pack. Do thy have bottom or not? Okay, so you do have a bottom side, but I don't think you're the right fit for this. That could work. Turn it sideways. This is kind of where I do miss using Unity, because I have a slightly bit better zoom. Ooh, that's ugly. I'm gonna try an old trick though. It's not perfect. No, that's a downright ugly actually. Okay, maybe if I can shift these two across. I need a door. Now, there is a Pacific door I've seen. Double door? No. Okay, this door is it. This is the one I wanted. My only main issue is when I'm building these levels, when jumping from level 1 to 2, it's gonna have like a Resident Evil-esque feel jump to it. This is mostly because I don't have access to in things like Unity and Unreal. If an object has a child, you generally can alter the object. But with this project, I'm very, very limited with the engines I have access to. So if I go to open anyway, you can see how this is two objects. But I don't have access to them both for some reason in the main area. Okay, so I'm torn. Since this space is actually void space behind this door, do I put a slanted wall up here? Question is, what type of walls do I have access to? And I can't filter by asset type. Slash ban. These are definitely going to get used though. That's actually not too bad. I do want to move it forward, so... Shouldn't be able to tell that's an error anyway, so... Okay, so let's duplicate that. Duplicate. Oh, hey! I love eating. How are you? Sorry, I just noticed your message. How are you doing today? I'm glad you're good. But yes, so what I'm doing... I'm not doing too bad. It's been a nice casual day. Got a new podcast recorded, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, so what I'm doing today is I'm doing some level design for the mobile game challenge I'm doing. So at the moment, I am recreating... Cancel that. This. And I am doing it on this. I'm actually doing this on my phone. As you can see. This is... This is the mobile version of Godot, which I'm using. I don't know how I can show it. Or show it's on a mobile without completely... A sec. I'm just going to turn Dex off for a second. Oh, you also use it. How do you find it? Also, are you using it on your mobile or are you using it on a tablet? Me too. I am a Unity developer. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, this is on my mobile. This is on my S22 Ultra. This is why I have access to this feature. Because I'm currently using Dex to... Because what type of phone is it you're using? Is it like a Android, Pixel, Samsung, Apple? Yeah, because I have... I know there's like a... I know there's an Apple version of this, but it's not called Godot, from what I've read, which is weird. Let's have a look. That's on Humble, it's fine. Yeah, it's not called Godot. It's called XGOT. XGOT. It brings the full power of the Godot game engine to the iPad, now an iPhone native experience. Yeah, I have no clue why they had to rename it something else. But yeah, how have you been... Because when you're building, what are you using for your assets? Oh, you. Okay, so how do you find blood? How do you find coding for Godot? Because that is my next challenge. So I need to delete that. There's a lot of functions and methods that you can do. Okay. So, like I said, I'm majority a. I can code in C#. 1 second, I just need to have. Oh my. This is my nightmare. There. I can code in C#. Yeah. That is the one main worry I have. I love how that one looks right, yet this one, the original, looks janky as. I will not lie, for an hour's worth of work. Yeah, I just heard what I said. This doesn't look too bad. Apart from, I'm gonna select all this and shift it over. Because, yeah, so I'm using a lot of pre-made assets. From a company called Cinti. So this is one of them. Guess where they got the inspiration from? But I love their assets. So because I'm currently using. Yeah, so if I. Grab that. Type that, hit enter. This is where it's going to. Oh, no, I'm actually. I'm really hoping I am on Northern Level's channel. Yes, I am. It's just typed it using my personal codec. Yes, so they've got this one, which no way is it inspired by Alien. Do love the Vashnarada though. I'm using this one. Let's have a look at what my next pack is. I've got. That's the same pack. That one. And. It's not. Is it City? No, it's not Cyber City. It's. See, that's right. So I'm using this one. These are. So I'm using like packs from 3 different generations of development. I think this is 7 years old. Hey, no worries. This VOD will stay up. I am actually going to be streaming. I'm going to be streaming Monday, Tuesdays. No, Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Fridays. Jesus. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and the rest of the VOD should be on here. But yeah, these are slightly older packs, but they still work. Okay, anyway, let's keep building. So I need to find a suitable back wall, and I don't want to use this again because it's going to show the fact I've reused assets. What does that look like? Works. But I have no clue how it's going to work on this corner though. If I pull that all the way in. Game. No! Okay, this is a issue I personally have with this engine. Especially on the mobile version. Is that it has a bad habit of crashing. And I've not saved in a hot minute. Now this is where I find out it saves every incrementally. Please say Okay, so number one rule: save, because okay. But here's the thing: me doing everything I just did, I know what I need to do to make it look right. Go 2-7. Four 9, and that's going to be 1-5. can't believe it crashed out on me. Okay, that goes there. And I use this one. Let's have a look at the rotation. Fate will be fine. Have that come in and it's set. So I do need to rebuild the stairs so I can work out where the back end is. They went up by 3. Save that. I have a suspicious feeling I did shrink this panel down. Put that there. So that kind of does indicate I did shrink it down. That can go there. Then one more duplication. Rotate 45. So 55 or 30. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, that works. So I need to marry those two up. Duplicate. Negafy those. Ooh, definitely not what I wanted. Okay, I'm getting back to where I lost my save, at least. could lose a bit, but I don't think that's gonna be too much of a issue in the long run. Kind of did want that over here, so technically I could do something. If I do that, pull this out, figure out where I just stop this one. Put that there. And no one's the wiser of the fact that that's actually wrong. Apart from me, because it's going to annoy the living crap out of me. Let's go top. Okay. Now let's save. Get this. And I'm actually going to alter this wall. I'm going to need that one. Where's the gate? A big door frame. That can go there, that can go there. I want to grab this one again, but I want to straighten it up because in the floor plan it's a straight wall. Wrong keyboard. Also, I just remembered that's a modded wall. This is where it's going to get a little bit more ugly on the level design side, because I know for a fact verticals do not like lining up with straights. God, I hate the mobile controls on this because it just screwed my view up. I might just have to straight up use a different wall. And I believe there's a... Gah! Hate these mobile... One thing I really do wish Mobile Godot would install: an option to detect keyboard and mouse and disable this. I hate the mobile move around toolset they've implemented. That's the middle one. That ends... a little over. That one ends way too much over. See if that fixes the issue. Still not fully fixed it, but I'm gonna delete this one. Kinda falls more online. Okay, I'm getting close to what I lost. So I'm going to create a quick save. Let's go top view. So if that stops there, I'm guessing the door ends there. Centralize that as much as I can. Okay, so that's done, that's done. Let's duplicate that. Now, this is where the really tricky bit happens. Me getting this wall to work with the same diagonal as that. Duplicate. Localize. think for this one I am going to do a little bit of stretchy. Because it's probably going to be the easiest way of making... Instead of having a multi-panel effect, having a single panel is going to look so much better than multi. Okay, now let's dupe again. Top view. Okay, that works. There is probably going to be some small disconnects on this, but the fact I've had to rebuild this, which is kind of annoying. And I did not mean to hit Control D, I meant to hit Control S. Okay, so that would mean, now if I have this, I can duplicate that up. I am gonna... Do you know what's even more hilarious? This afternoon I was doing the next podcast with someone who does environment design, who teaches environment design. Okay, I need something to stick in that corner. No, that's around a corner. Pillar, corner pillar, blah blah blah. Blah blah. Nope. Corner, corner, corner. It's ugly and I know it, but it works. Okay, let's get this floor to turn around. Now, did this pack come with corner turns? If it did, I'll be so happy. If it doesn't, I'm going to be annoyed. No, it didn't. Okay. How am I going to do this? So that's elevated. Save, because I don't want this to crash out. Oh, this is going to get very questionable what I'm going to do here now. Okay, so If I rotate 90. So I need to bridge your support, but I don't want this sticking out as far as it is. So I'm gonna, since this is on a whole new level, I can shrink it. Let's get to the top view so I don't. Okay. So let's make sure that these two line up. Okay, those two line up. Height's wrong. You can tell that from a mile away. So if I do that height? No. Figure out where it intersects. Pull it back. I'm gonna have to get on top of you, aren't I? And so that's where the wall stops. This is where it shouldn't. I'm an idiot. That's not where that wall stops. This is roughly where the floor stops. So now, if I shrink it, because I don't need this walkway to be as large. Those steps line up nicely. I am going to shrink this one as well. That fits. Not too bad. Now, let's just grab this wall, dupe it. Parent one to the other, because if I don't, it just makes rotation so much harder. So that ends around there. That would mean I'd still have to pull a chunk of these walls in. Unless... I just noticed what I did. So this fits snugly with that. That doesn't fit snugly. These are wrong. That's why. Now if I put that there, that solves a lot of issues. Okay. I need a pillar because I need something to put underneath this to not have the BS floating stereotype, if that makes sense. Keep calm. Try to say. My system didn't crash. I just lost my mouse and the system wasn't responding. Okay, that's slightly annoying. I hate... I have to tab out just to get access to my mouse again. This is one of the most frustrating things about using Godot in... Okay, so I'm just going to close Godot just to solve the issue. But yeah, so Godot Mobile has this really weird bug where at times it will allow you to have full mobile control, but then 10% it crashes out, but that 10% sticks and it just doesn't want to budge again, and it turns it into like a 99% fail rate if you want to try to do anything. Now, is there a duplicate underneath this? No, there isn't, so that close didn't factor in this. Factor in that shift. Okay. So I'm gonna duplicate that. Switch that on to global transform. Try again. Duplicate. Oh, and that's an issue, which can get resolved very, very quickly, luckily. So that has to come over here, but since this was a mirrored copy, I can move this back. If the mobile controls weren't in the way. Okay, I'm going to do one last thing before I call it. Because I'm going to keep my level design into 2 hours ago, so this is going to be the endpoint for this stream. Once I have added the final touches to this level, which is going to be me adding the grassy mound. So this has a little bit more texturing than it does before, and getting the tree in as well. And I chose the dead tree for a specific reason, because due to this was kind of it, this area does get vented into space for a short period. I'm going to make it so all its leaves get took off. I'm gonna probably move it more central. Around here. Move it down so the roots are in the ground. Duplicate the other. The clipping I will fix in the next stream. But yeah, thank you for everyone who came by. I do appreciate it. I'm going to raid a friend, JR probably, if they are live. But yes, on Wednesday... Yes, on Wednesday, I'm going to be carrying on with this build where hopefully I'm going to do a quick save. I can get this area finished and start building the next area, which should be... I think I'm going to build the kitchen area next, which is this area just here. wait a sec, just here, which in the grand scale of the map should be over here. So I'm going to build that in the next stream once I have, because I really love this dome effect where everything's leaning back in on itself. So I think I'm going to keep that effect. So get these walls turning in, and get the doors where I need them, and then go from there. Plus, I also need to work out how I'm going to get a crash ship into this section. Because if you actually look at it, it's just like, it's got like a crash. I hate when it does this. It's got like a crash ship here. So luckily the pack I have comes with quite a few ships. I may use one of those. This is solely because with this entire project, I've got to build it entirely on my phone. I am having to use a lot of pre-made assets, which are Cinti assets, which I will leave in the link below. And, ooh, crap, go from there. Okay, so let's go save this one last time. It's not like it's been saved enough. And I will try to figure out what texture that needs. And I'm going to look for some good supporting beams to chuck underneath here, just because I do not like the floating aesthetic of these columns. Yes, I could say they were being welded into the wall, but yeah, it feels too much of a cop-out. So I'm going to figure out a way of getting something shoved underneath there. I'm going to go flip through the assets. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. And for YouTube, goodbye. And for Twitch, you will be finishing in a few seconds. Bye, guys.